Welcome to another tutorial. This time we will talk about the t-shirt designer, but I haven't opened it here because we will do it from scratch. All what I have here is a complete empty template. I just uploaded a couple of images of t-shirts in various colors, and this has a size of A4 right now. So that's it. Let's start. First of all, we will need a t-shirt because we want our customers to design on a t-shirt. So I put the white t-shirt on here. And the important part is that the user, the customer, always designs on the space, on the actual page size. So we will not change the page size to actually fit our t-shirt, but we will make our t-shirt so big that the page size actually covers the printing area. So because we can't see the t-shirt of the side because of the size of the pasteboard, we now can right click on this and choose Set as Pasteboard, which will actually adjust the pasteboard of the document, which we see here, to exactly the size of the t-shirt, which is extremely easy to do. So I don't know how large the areas you can print on t-shirts, but depending on that, you adjust the t-shirt to that, and you also adjust these areas, which is now A4, to the proper size, which can be printed later on. So this is our document. This is what gets printed. The t-shirt is just for the buyer side. Just move this a little bit around. So set as pasteboard again. Now it makes sense to put this t-shirt on a certain layer because this is our base layer. So when we create another layer here, let's call it the background layer, and we can put the t-shirt on here, and we actually can lock this layer. So that's it. Now nobody can touch the t-shirt. In case you don't want people to move objects in the edges, that's it. We're actually done, because right now in the when we are having some objects on the buyer side, it will work perfectly well. So to test this, we could go to the snippets, and then we can go to layout snippets, and if you click on the basket here and then add another snippet group, you can search for the Printess t-shirts, which is part of the layout snippets that are available out of the box, so we can use them. And we also can click show on search to see which artworks are automatically loaded. So when we are now switching to the buyer side, we will see that these are our layouts, which we now can use on that t-shirt. Since these are layout snippets, they will automatically be exchanged. So when I select a different artwork, it automatically will replace it. When I click on it, I can actually change whatever these layout snippet allow me to change. In that case, it's just the name. In that case, it's that's a famous one from the website. So we can do exactly that, and it will fit. The other thing is that you might want people to allow them to insert other elements on that t-shirt. So let's go back to the admin side, and when we go to layers, we see all the red layers here. They're all applied because they're coming from a layout snippet indicated here. So when we go to snippets, we can simply say remove snippet, and it will remove all the layout snippet inserted elements. We also can allow the users to place group elements. So in the group section here, we can go to the basket again, we add another group, and then we search for calligraphy, for example. So going over there, we will have also a range of items the user can select from, and whatever he or she selects can be freely moved around here on the t-shirt, and actually add a text to that, which is totally fine. And normally you can set up if you want to allow items going to the edge or not. So what we would do is we would go keep frames inside page. That's a setting on the buyer side here, document white. So clicking this on and go to the shopping basket again, we now cannot move this outside of the area. But if you want people to allow to move things outside an area, which could be also in certain cases, then you would need to give a visible feedback that this t-shirt will that this area will not print there. So I will explain how to do that, because that could be very handy in certain occasions, and you will also see this applied in the t-shirt sample document. Going back to our layers, I unlock the t-shirt layer here, and now I go and copy it. So copy this one, and then I say paste in place. Paste in place means we're inserting it, but we're inserting it at exactly the same position. So let's also do another layer, and let's call it the top layer. So put it on the top, and then put our copy of the t-shirt on this layer. Now it's covering everything. To get a more clear view of that, I will just hide the background layer. And now I can go to the t-shirt, to crop, and basically use the intelligent guides here, which actually snap to that edge and make the t-shirt smaller. So it's now just on this side. The same thing I can actually do by selecting my background t-shirt again. I copy, now I use my shortcuts. If you want to paste in place, it's Command Shift V or Control Shift V. So put this in here, and I do this 3 times. Select all of them, move them all to the top layer, and hide the background layer again. So going to that t-shirt, going on crop, and then just do the same thing on the right side. Going to the next t-shirt, again crop it, moving it to the top, close the crop, and do the last thing. Do it again with the last t-shirt remaining, and so we go. So now we got exactly that situation. We got our page here, the t-shirts over there. To get a better look, we now can turn on the background, and it looks like one t-shirt, which it actually is. It's 5 t-shirts, but when I move things around here, it's now actually vanishing behind the double t-shirt construction. This is the one thing. Now the buyer actually has the ability to edit this t-shirt, but we want to print it as well. To print it, we can use this document that will output us exactly that region here, and we will use this document because this is the one the buyer edits. And what we don't want is this layers top, the t-shirt layer and background be printed. So we turn off the little print over here. So now we can go and print the t-shirt, and we only get this area. But it might be that there are some production requirements where there should be additional information on the t-shirt printing document. We can go create another document, call it print. And in this document, we can actually define a size. It should be now more than A4. So let's make it A3. And on this page, we can now go to subdocument here. We see our design, we click on the design, and it will be inserted here. It's probably not inserted in the size we need it, so we can resize it now and just do that proportionally while holding the shift key, and we got it. And also normally you would do that numeric because you exactly know that you want to have that at A4 like it was before, or any other size. So just put this in here. What we can do as well is we can make us some crop marks here, which I can show you quickly. So it's very handy to use the line functions here. So when making a crop mark, we would go for one line on the right, put it to 0.0 here, and then we have a width of 1 centimeter and a height of 0.8. We also can insert this, edit this in millimeters. And when we see our crop mark, it's a little bit too big, so we can put this to 2 pixels. We can set this to registration color. Now make a copy of this item, put it in the same position, but in that we take now 8 millimeters width and 1 centimeter height, and we just exchange the shape to the line which runs on the bottom. So take the both of them, group them, and another handy trick is to set the rotation angle to the middle. So now we got this, and we can move it with the intelligent guides here directly to the edge, and now copy it again. We can simply click on the rotation thing here and holding shift. So we got this rotated by 90 degrees. Put it in the bottom corner here, just put it there and copy it again, and then again rotate it, and the last time. So we got nice crop marks here for our t-shirt artwork. What we're still seeing is that the t-shirt background is visible here. There's a special setting for that, and this is hide non-printable layers in preview, which you can turn on, and it will automatically disappear. So no matter what design we're doing, we actually got this here. And if we want to add more text, for example, for production information, I would simply take a frame and have my production infos here. Okay, that's our printed document, which corresponds now with the design document for our t-shirt design. And this is the one that's automatically printed by setting it to production. So now, whenever I call this template via the API, it will output that document instead of the design document. The next thing we want to do is we want to allow another buyer feature to change the color of the t-shirt. So we need a form field which actually offers us the option to select the color. As I already mentioned, we have a couple of t-shirts here in different colors like red, orange, and blue. So let's make a form field. Let's call it color. Go to the color form field. And this will be just a string, and the user interface will be, for example, an image list or a select list, depending on what you're looking for. And now we can add values here. So we can say this is white, and the image, we can simply select the image here. We select the white t-shirt. So let's make another value, orange, and go on that button here and select the orange t-shirt. So that's it, basically. Now we have created a select list, which will look beautiful on the buyer side. We can pre-select the white one if we want. But we want to change the t-shirt color as well when this value changes. And the trick how we can do this is we create us a style which is able to change the image for the t-shirt frames. So what we can do is we click on the plus here in the style section, and as you see, there are a lot of already predefined templates for combining form fields with styles to do the buyer side magic. In that case, this example is not part of the list because it's so hard to determine. It's very individual depending on the template, because you only know where the images are, where they're coming from, where they're named. So we will do that from scratch, but we can still select empty as a style class template name, and we can name it color. So pressing OK will just generate us an empty style named color. Now we can actually say we want to change the image. So we type EM, we get to the list here with the IntelliSense recommendations, and now we can actually press $, and we see form.color as a variable here. We can also add, as you have seen before, directly just go to the images in this document, but we want to pick the form color because this form color already contains value. But in that case, if we go back, these values are actually white, orange, and red, which is not the file name of our t-shirts. The good thing is we don't have to know the file name because this has already an image column. So what we can do is we can use, instead of the value, we can use the image column. By going to style, and instead of form.color, we take image.color. Now we have this class. We can now go here, select our t-shirts. Let me just select 2 of them first, and we assign the style class color. And if we change the form field now, it will automatically correspond. So let's do this with the remaining t-shirt frames. And I think I'm still missing one, which is easier to select in the layer panel, but it's already selected. So let me just add the color here as well. We now got the red t-shirt, we got our artwork here. We can change this artworks. We can actually make us a different t-shirt just by using group snippets. Delete this one, going over here, maybe changing the color to something that has more contrast. So there are no colors here. And the reason for that is that this snippet here is allowing to change the color, but we need to provide them some colors. Normally, when you do a new document, always you see a range of colors here in the buyer's color section, because this is a standard folder where the buyer colors go in. If there are no actually predefined colors, you can always click on restore buyer colors and you get a nice range. And then you can actually go from there, delete the ones you don't want to have. And then you have a nice range where you can select here. So we can go put this to white. And again, nice snippet here because it has also the bending arc, and we can change the text. So that will be our t-shirt. And what's now very interesting, and let me just change the color to something we can better see. So when we go back to the print here, we got our template ready-made for production. And also we can now use this text frame here and say we want to have actually the color information here for the production company. So we simply insert form.color, and we see now it's color red, so it's indicating the right color. And also if you have another form field determining the size, for example, the same story. We just make a form field for the size, we show it to the user. So let's go here, one size form field, we go for select list, we add a couple of values, make it S, M, and then we go over here and just say size, and we go for size. In the buyer side now, going back to the design, going back to the buyer side, we now can select the size, and depending on the size in our production document, we will have the size mentioned precisely and correctly. I think that was a lot for the short time, so we built our entire t-shirt engine. Thanks very much for listening and hope to see you next time.